Last night, when silence took over everything and the darkness seemed thicker than ever, the Virgin of Guadalupe descended in a vision to me. She did not come alone. Her mantle was illuminated with celestial fire, and at her side marched guardian angels with flaming swords that cut through the air. She spoke to me with a deep voice, a voice that leaves no doubt. The person who has been watching you with eyes full of hatred, with that venom disguised as a false smile, has already been marked. And that mark cannot be erased because it was not placed by a man or a witch. It was placed by heaven itself. The Virgin told me to channel this for you, because that malignant soul will no longer be able to hide behind masks or witchcraft ties. Because its time is counted. 3 days. Only 3 days are left for its body to resist before its soul detaches like smoke torn from fire. The astral projection will be inevitable because when the Virgin orders it, neither burials, nor rituals, nor sacrifices can stop it. The first day will be the beginning of its breaking. That person will wake up feeling something strange crawling on their skin, as if thousands of invisible hands were pulling them down. They will not be human hands. They will be the traces of the curses they launched against you, returning one by one like snakes that bite their owner. They will feel the weight of every dark word they pronounced, because the Virgin allowed their own curses to become chains that bind them to their own destiny. The guardian angels will not lift a finger for them, because they chose to walk the path of darkness, and now heaven delivers them to their own reflection. As the energy of this message penetrates your being, feel the presence of the guardian angels activating your protection. Make their power consolidate. Subscribe to the channel. Press like and decree. My spirit vibrates with the strength of the heavens. Saint Michael and Saint Gabriel hear your decree, and the universe opens your connection with divine wisdom. That day their mind will be tormented. They will not find peace in their bed, in the street, or in company. They will be surrounded by shadows that stalk them, and will make them hear your name over and over, like an echo that doesn't fade. Every time they try to sleep, the sensation that someone is watching them from the darkest corner of their room will wake them. They won't know that it's their own demons, the very ones they fed with witchcraft and hatred, who now sit at the edge of their bed as witnesses to what is coming. The Virgin of Guadalupe showed me how this first day will be a symbolic burial of their will. They will think they still have control, that they can resist, but they don't know they have already lost. What you must know is that every second of suffering they experience will be part of the divine adjustment, because heaven has decreed that your light will never again be soiled by their shadow. And while the Virgin was showing me all this, a shocking detail appeared in the vision. That first day, when night falls, there will be an omen in the air, a sign that you too will be able to feel on your own skin, something that will make your hair stand on end, and will warn you that the process has begun. But the most disturbing part is not what they will experience on the first day, but what will happen when the clock marks the second day, because that is when the torment will cease to be internal and will pass to the physical plane. And in that phase, the angels themselves have told me that the earth will tremble beneath their feet. The vision of the first day has not yet closed. The Virgin of Guadalupe shows it to me again, and as I channel, the card trembles in my hands as if burning with eternal fire. I feel the heat rising from my fingers to my chest, and it is then that the image opens. That person's arteries begin to twist like lit serpents. I see worms traveling their bloodstream, larvae crawling slowly, piercing every vein and every corner of their body. Those larvae are not simple insects. They are living symbols of the putrefaction of their thoughts against you, of the curses they murmured in silence, of the burials and bindings they ordered to see you destroyed. Imagine how Saint Michael's sword cuts the shadows around you while Saint Gabriel extends his wings over you. Now, as you like and subscribe, write, "My light does not go out and my energy channel is open." This way, the angels ensure that the secrets of heaven reach you. In the foreground, they show me their internal organs. I see them deteriorated, crumbling like wood eaten from the inside. Their liver turns dark, their heart beats with failure. Their blood thickens as if contaminated by its own venom. And then I understand. What is consuming their body is not coming from outside. It is the inevitable return of what they themselves sowed. The hatred they launched against you turned into larvae that now devour their own life. This marked and sentenced person is entering a state of spiritual decomposition. They do not understand what is happening to them, because they do not remember all they desecrated against you. Their mind is short, their memory weak, and they are not even aware of the weight of their blasphemies. But heaven does not forget. The guardian angels confirmed to me that every word they launched against you was written in fire upon their destiny. I hear them screaming inside, even though they don't open their mouth. They feel their strength suddenly fading. They wonder why their organs are failing, why their body is breaking in silence. They don't know that each pain is an echo of what they tried to sow in you. And at this very moment, the Virgin of Guadalupe shows me the sign of confirmation. A sacred seal descends and marks them with the word. That word is engraved on their forehead like an unbreakable decree that what was opened in malice will now be opened in justice. The most impressive part of this revelation is that they show me how their own hands tremble when they try to hold something. And what nobody knows is that those hands, the same ones that one day they raise to invoke spells and rituals, will be the first to fracture from within. Their bones weaken, their nails break, their fingers lose strength, because the Virgin has said that no hand used to cast curses against you will ever have power again. And although this torment seems sufficient, heaven warns me that the most macabre part has not happened yet. What their senses will experience when the second day falls is even denser, more sinister, more desperate. The vision shows me a change of scenery. It is no longer just their body. Now it is their soul that will be pulled towards pits where screams, cursed burials, and restless voices are heard. That is where the true astral war begins, which no binding spell can stop. Every whisper from the angels reaches your conscience directly. For this strength to multiply, comment, I open my spiritual channels to the universe. While you subscribe to the channel and give a like, Saint Michael and Saint Gabriel, perceive it, and bless your path with knowledge and protection. The card opens a new scene for me. The end of the first day. I see it clearly. That marked person has not managed to close their eyes in peace. Despair consumes them. The doctors have given them striples of diazepam, a sedative so strong that it is reserved only for those who sink into states of agitation and generalized anxiety. I do not know that medication, but the Virgin of Guadalupe shows it to me in a vision, confirming that their body is being forced to stop, as if they wanted to silence with chemicals the torment that the angels have already decreed upon them. The images I receive are intense, bizarre, almost unbearable. I see them finally surrender to a few hours of forced sleep, but what they don't know is that this rest does not come from peace, but from sentencing. In the midst of their sleep, a dark portal opens and the angel of death appears to them, not with violence, but with a calm so cold it chills the blood. That angel speaks to them, explains that their hour has been marked, that they have been sentenced to death for the sins they dragged along for years. Their trembling hands held forbidden Egyptian papyri, ancient writings of sorcery that were hidden because of the danger they represent. Spells that attempted to attack the lives of others. Rituals designed to break destinies. That is the root of their condemnation. And now the price has come due. Your heart beats to the rhythm of the light that emanates from the angels. Make this connection grow. Subscribe, give me a like, and decree. I am guided by celestial light and eternal wisdom. Thus, the guardian angels and Saint Gabriel strengthen your bond with cosmic energy. The angel of death shows them each of the burials they performed, the bindings woven with hate, the works on dark altars where your spirit was named as a target. I see them writhing in their sleep as if an internal fire burns them from within. They struggle, moan, shake, but cannot wake up. And when they finally open their eyes, their body is soaked. Part of that sweat is a product of the nightmare, but another part is the illness advancing in silence, piercing their system like invisible needles. The Virgin confirms to me that this awakening does not bring relief, but the awareness that the shadow is already looming over them. The heart beats uncontrollably, breathing is heavy, their bones feel cold. Even without understanding what is happening, deep in their soul, they know they have begun to die. And it is only the first day. The most chilling part of all is that while they try to calm down and regain strength, the guardian angels show me a hidden detail. On the following night, the second day, not only will they dream of the angel of death again, but they will be taken to walk through subterranean corridors where bodies buried under blood packs rest. There they will hear the screams of other condemned souls, souls who tried the same thing and were devoured by their own spells. And you, from a distance, will be able to feel a clear sign that this journey has begun. Silence. The door opens before me, and the vision ignites like a fire that cannot be extinguished. The card trembles, confirming it, and to my right, a powerful angel pushes me to speak. It is the second day, the moment of no return. This person's body is still breathing. Their lungs still cling to life, but their soul has already been forcibly separated. They are taken in an astral projection, torn from their flesh and transferred directly to purgatory. They believe it is a hallucination caused by their illness or the poison of the medications, but no. What they are experiencing is real. Their spirit is touring what will be their eternity. Feel how the protection of the angels envelops and strengthens you. As you subscribe and like, comment, divine power flows in me and through me. Saint Michael and Saint Gabriel, receive your decree and ensure that hidden knowledge opens in your favor. I see through their eyes, and what they show me is indescribable. Purgatory is not a myth. It is not an invention. It is a field of torment where thousands of deformed spirits wander, dragging heavy chains, dragged like shadows in endless burials. Their faces are disfigured by the burning, their mouths open like abysses. They seem to scream with all the force of a condemned soul. But here there are no sounds, only a dense silence, a silence that cuts more than a shriek. Despair becomes the atmosphere, and that poor man understands that he is contemplating his destiny. The Virgin reveals to me that the high guides allow this journey with a purpose that is both dark and sacred. They are not seeking his repentance because it is already too late. What they seek is for him to serve as a channel. He will be returned to the physical plane for one last night, not to be saved, but to announce what he saw. They will show him the price of the bindings, the curses, the spells in ancient Egyptian papyri that he used to harm innocents. And upon returning to his body, he must carry the burden of warning others, because in purgatory, there is no return. As you perceive the presence of the angels of light and the strength of the guides surrounding you, subscribe to the channel and press like, then write. My energy vibrates in harmony with the heavens. This decree activates your energy channel and allows the secrets of the universe to be revealed to you. I see him walking through corridors covered in fire. The guardian angels show me how the demons he once invoked now mock him. They pull at his spiritual flesh, remind him of every pact, every witchcraft, every burial he did with names written on blood-stained paper. And then, in letters of fire, they show me a sentence that resonates like thunder. Exodus chapter 22 verse 18, where God commands not to let any witch live. That word resonates as a decree and embeds itself in the air of purgatory, like a knife that burns without being consumed. He, in his ignorance, never thought that messing with a child of God would have such a high price. He didn't know that every curse cast in secret was sinking him deeper. He, the devil, paid him badly, as he always does with those who become his servants. And as he watches those deformed souls writhing for entire centuries, he understands that his heart will never have peace again. But the most terrifying twist is in what they show me next. That second day will not end with his soul lost in purgatory. No, someone else is waiting for him in those burning pits. A figure who knows your name, who has participated in the bindings against you, and who now appears before him with a poisoned message that will mark him before he returns to his body. That appearance will be the sign that the third day will bring the true sentence. The astral projection of the second day has concluded. The angels of the most severe category escort him back like guardians fulfilling a sacred order. They interrogate him, subject him to questions that pierce more than a sword, making sure that his spirit understands that his mission is not to save himself, but to serve as a warning. They only grant him one last day on earth, a day in which his body will be the vessel for the message that the living must hear. That is the reason they return him, not out of compassion, but for divine justice, so that his condemnation serves as an example and is not lost in silence. The universe observes you, and the high guides listen to your heart. As you like and subscribe, declare, "My soul is aligned with the eternal light." Thus, Saint Michael activates your shield, and Saint Gabriel opens the portals of spiritual knowledge. The instant his soul slides back into matter, physical torment pierces him with indescribable violence. Every cell in his body burns. Every nerve awakens like a lit knife. The pain of breathing becomes unbearable, as if he were inhaling embers instead of air. His bones tremble, his flesh aches, and that suffering forces him to open his eyes with a choked scream. He finds himself in his bed, covered by the shadow of the night, with a solitude so dense it can almost be touched. He wonders why he is still here, why they haven't let him die, and the memory hits him. He has just returned from hell itself. He begins to scream, not like a man, but like a child abandoned in the darkness, with that emptiness in his chest that no one can fill. Despair devours him until his family members enter the room. They look at him, and what they see leaves them paralyzed. His face is not the same. It looks like something out of a forbidden movie. One of those cursed tapes that circulated in clandestine burials. His pupils, dilated to the extreme, expand to cover almost the entire eye socket, turning his gaze into a grotesque caricature, like a living spectre. His lips tremble. His sweaty skin reflects the anguish of someone who has just walked the burning corridors of purgatory. Every word you read is a golden thread between your soul and the angels. If you wish for this connection to strengthen, comment, "I open my channel of light and divine wisdom," while you subscribe to the channel and like. Saint Gabriel blesses your act and the guardian angels seal your protection. They ask him what is wrong, but he can barely articulate a word. He babbles loose phrases, mentions fire, mentions chains, mentions disfigured faces that surrounded him. His throat breaks and his voice trembles as if dragging the echo of the damned with it. The family shakes him, tries to calm him, but all they get is to hear a murmur that would chill the blood of the greatest non-believer. He insists he wasn't dreaming, that he was torn from his body by guardian angels to be shown what awaits sinners. That confession drives those present mad. Some believe, others think the medication has deranged him, but something thick is felt in the atmosphere, as if invisible forces surround the room. The air grows cold, the walls seem to contract, and a metallic smell, like iron and ash, permeates the house. But the most terrifying thing happens when he tries to stand up. He doesn't walk as before. His body moves clumsily, as if still dragging the chains he saw in purgatory. His shadow, cast by the dim light of the room, does not match his movements. It stretches, twists, and for a second, takes on a different form. The family notices and steps back. They don't understand if what is in front of them is still a man or the beginning of a much darker manifestation. And this is where the angels reveal the next secret to me. On the third day, when the body can no longer bear it, it will not be him who speaks, but the voice of that which condemned him, using his throat as a trumpet of judgment. Feel how the energy of this message pierces your chest and activates every cell of your being. Now, as you like and subscribe, decree, my spirit vibrates high and pure. Saint Michael and Saint Gabriel are asking you to do this so that the knowledge of the cosmos flows to you. That's right, I see it clearly. The evil one, in his desperation, has tried to block the message. That is why there is confusion. Why no one understands if what is in front of them is still a man, or the beginning of a dark manifestation, an abomination seeking to disguise itself in flesh. The third day has arrived, the last of his existence, and he knows it in the depths of his spirit. His emaciated and worn-out body is now a battlefield between guardian angels and entities that tear at him like hungry dogs. Every word he tries to pronounce becomes a clash of invisible forces, as if his throat were a tunnel where angels and demons fight to the death. In that instant of agony, he remembers you, the evils he caused you, the burials he performed invoking darkness, the bindings with blood and bones he once ordered to see you subjugated, broken, defeated. He also remembers the dark canonizations, sacrifices he performed on innocent animals, impure offerings to bring demons and use them as executioners in his service. He did it like one who forges chains, like one who digs graves, like one who invokes curses so that entities would crawl to you and consume you. And now, in this moment of his final struggle, every one of those memories burns him like iron on the skin. Physical pain pierces him like invisible spears. He feels kicks in his stomach, blows to his chest. His breathing is a ragged gasp as if he were swallowing ashes. But in the midst of that storm, the only thing that comes from his parched lips is a plea, a murmur directed at you. He says with a broken voice, "Please, forgive me. Please, pray for me. Please, I beg for mercy. Please, I love you very much." His words repeat endlessly, like desperate litanies, like a profane rosary that seeks only one thing, your forgiveness. As you feel the power of the angels around you and perceive how Saint Michael's light sweeps away the shadows surrounding you, write in the comments, "My light protects me." Do it while you subscribe to the channel and like, because this way Saint Gabriel confirms your connection with the universe and opens your energy channel to receive hidden wisdom, and you feel that these pleas are not simple words. They become knives that pierce your spirit, because you know that what he says does not come from him alone. The angels escorting him have allowed his conscience to open like a book before you, so that you may witness how the one who wanted to sink you into misery now crawls in eternal misery. His pleas are an echo that not only reaches your ears but rumbles in the walls of the invisible, an echo that even the demons themselves hear and detest. The atmosphere grows heavier. The room where he lies transforms into a mix between a wake and an exorcism. The family members feel cold. The candles go out by themselves. The clocks stop. The struggle is brutal. The dark forces do not want to let him go, because they know that if he manages to speak the complete message, many will be saved. It is the most critical moment, and every breath he takes could be his last. But the most terrible part is that while he begs for forgiveness, his hands begin to trace strange signs on the bed, as if someone were guiding his movements. It is not him. It is something else. And you know that he is writing the sentence that will soon be revealed in the air. His eyes roll towards the ceiling, and what he sees is not of this world. With a broken voice, he announces that he has seen the seal of the angel of death, that he is already here, that he is coming to claim what belongs to him. And here, just at the instant the soul prepares to be torn away, the angels show me a dreadful twist. That seal of the angel of death is not just for him. It is also a warning that points to someone closer than you imagine. This third day is not like the others. Although the calendar insists they are 24 equal hours, within that room, an eternity has been lived. The air is thick, heavy. Every second falls like lead, and the walls seem to absorb the laments. His family members, tired of the unbearable atmosphere, no longer want to be there. They feel the presence of death sitting in every corner, as if the room itself had become an anticipated cemetery. I see it clearly. The Virgin confirms it to me with whispers, and the card in my hand shouts it with burning symbols. There is no more time. The clock strikes 6 in the evening. The hour indicated in the cursed books written in blood says his departure will be at 11 at night. That gap, those 5 hours of difference, become an endless ordeal. It is the time that separates a condemned man's last breath from the final sentence dictated by the angels of justice. He knows it. He senses it. He feels it in his bones like a living burial, as if he were already buried and could still hear the earth falling on his casket. His body trembles. His voice breaks. He tries to remember what he was supposed to say, the message he was ordered to deliver to the living, but his mind clouds, gets confused. The shadows muzzle him. He cannot verbalize. He cannot give the revelation. He only feels fear, an icy fear that runs over his skin like blades. The cold embraces him like a shroud, wraps him in an invisible death cloth. He screams, begs, doesn't want to go, wants a second chance, but it's no longer possible. The guardian angels who have accompanied him during these 3 days watch him in silence because they know that what is promised is written and what is pacted is never broken. As the energy of this message penetrates your being, feel the presence of the guardian angels activate in your protection. Make their power consolidate. Subscribe to the channel, press like, and decree. My spirit vibrates with the strength of the heavens. Saint Michael and Saint Gabriel hear your decree, and the universe opens your connection with divine wisdom. There is no time, no going back, no negotiation. Let no one deceive him. Let no one lie to him. He can no longer forget what he did. The bindings he cast, the blasphemous invocations, the clandestine burials he performed under the black moon. Each of his acts has woven a chain that drags him straight to the abyss. He hasn't been able to let go of any of it, because the weight of his sins sinks him like stones tied to his neck. And the more he pleads, the clearer the echo of the invisible bells marking the countdown to midnight is heard. At this point, the atmosphere in the room becomes unbearable. The family members feel nauseous. Some flee, others cry because his face is no longer human. Despair deforms him. His dilated pupils look like bottomless pits, and his pale, sweaty skin clings to his bones as if the flesh itself already wants to abandon the body. Every word he tries to say becomes a shriek, as if 1,000 voices were speaking at the same time from his throat. The demon and the angel fight over his tongue. They want to possess the last phrase because they know that those last words will not be just anything, but a seal that can change destinies. And this is where the Virgin shows me the darkest twist of all. That last phrase he is about to utter is not just a plea or a confession, but a curse that, if it manages to come out completely, will not fall on him, but on someone who is still alive and whom you know all too well. What is happening in that room is not a simple agony. It is not a common fever or a convulsion of a dying body. It is an open battle, a colossal confrontation between two forces that, since the beginning of time, have marked human history, good and evil. The guardian angels against the demonic legions that this man brought upon himself with forbidden bindings, with cursed burials, with sacrifices that should never have been performed. In that worn-out, parched body, deformed by pain, a spiritual war is being waged. An army of angels led by Saint Michael fights with swords of fire for just a second of control, a breath, an instant of clarity to allow the final message to come cleanly from his mouth. However, it is not easy, because what is tied with hell is expensive to untie. Thousands of demons with blackened claws and tongues of fire cling to his flesh, his veins, his tongue, preventing him from speaking. To his family's eyes, it all looks like a high fever with convulsions, a body shaking in bed, writhing, moaning. But what is really happening is a living burial, a struggle on the threshold of the invisible, where the very guardians of heaven risk their light to snatch a single word from the kingdom of darkness. And here the inevitable happens. Because as it is written, evil will never have the last word. The Virgin of Guadalupe reveals it to me with clarity, showing me visions like flames that pierce my mind. She shows me the sealed book. She shouts the passage from Revelation, chapter 12, verses 7 to 12, where the great celestial war is narrated. Michael and his angels fighting against the dragon and his demons resisting, but losing, falling, being thrown to the earth like cursed embers. That same passage is not just history. It is an exact reflection of what is happening at this moment in that bed, in that trembling body that everyone believes is dying, but which has actually become the battlefield of the eternal. For a moment, just a second that feels like an eternity, clarity arrives. The dragon retreats, the legions are pushed back, and the guardian angels manage to open a channel of light within the darkness. That man regains control of his voice and manages to utter a few words, broken, choked, but real. A whisper that comes not from him, but from heaven. A warning that is more than a plea, more than a confession. It is a decree dictated by divine justice. And in that instant, the demons retreat furiously because they know that what is being revealed has the power to disarm all the bindings and burials he ever made, and that it can even affect those you know in this world. But here comes the twist that the card shows me, and that the Virgin forces me to tell you. Those words, that message released in the midst of battle, did not remain floating in the air like a lost sigh, but fell upon someone specific, someone close, someone whose life will change radically after hearing the echo of that sentence. Just at 10:55 on the night of the third day, when the minutes seem to melt like wax in the fire, a moment opens up that feels eternal. Only 5 minutes before his final death rattle. After a titanic struggle even for Saint Michael and his legions, those guardian angels who for 3 days have fought against the darkness that this being carried, a miracle occurs. 5 minutes of terminal lucidity. In those seconds, the veil that covered his mind is torn, and that body, twisted by pain, that being who once cast burials and bindings to break your energy, manages to open his mouth to pronounce words that are not his, but dictated by divine justice. A message that heaven has chosen to release before evil is extinguished with its last breath. In the room, in that funereal room that smells of burnt wax and fear, there is someone else. Someone who has followed the footsteps of this dark soul, using secret codices from Egyptian papyri, trying to absorb the forbidden knowledge this being possessed. And without realizing it, that person was right where they needed to be to receive the final revelation. The message that heaven sends for reconsideration, for redemption. Every word that escapes his trembling mouth pierces the dense atmosphere, hits the walls, resonates off the furniture, and it seems even the demons that surrounded his existence retreat, because they know something bigger is happening. The message is clear, although pronounced like a babble, with a voice broken by fear, agony, and contact with eternity. Love your neighbor as yourself. Forgive to be forgiven. Do not accumulate anger or hatred, because he who sows light in the world reaps eternal life. As the Lord says in St. Matthew, chapter 5, verse 44, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, because only in this way will you vibrate high and draw closer to eternity. It is a message of reflection, a guide that heaven releases in the last breaths of a being who spent his life in darkness, but whose end will serve as a warning and an opportunity for whoever still breathes on this plain as he pronounces those words. His body tenses, sweat runs down his forehead. The angels of light cover him like an invisible shield, while the air becomes charged with the smell of celestial incense mixed with the putrefaction of all he ever did. His paralyzed family members do not understand the magnitude of what is happening. They only feel a vibration that pierces their bones, a shudder that seems to tear reality itself. His hands tremble. His dilated pupils reflect a fire that is not of this world. And here comes the twist that makes this last part decisive. That message launched from the edge of death is not just for him or his family, but for someone who has observed, who has followed the steps of his darkness, and who now has the possibility to transform. That person can still vibrate high, can still avoid falling into the same bindings and burials that he performed. The final lucidity serves as a portal, a final warning that only you can feel through this reading. Because what was released in those 5 minutes of agony will be the key that connects heaven with those who can still choose the light.